James Harden is undoubtedly a future Hall of Famer with his 10 All-Star selections, 3 scoring titles, and being 2 times assist leader. However, those honors are all from the regular season. His playoff resume is a different matter, as he never managed to drag his own team to the finals. This leaves us with one question. Is James Harden's tenure with the Houston Rockets a tale of dazzling stats, but ultimate failure? In this video, we're diving deep into James Harden's intriguing years with the Houston Rockets. From breathtaking plays to playoff heartbreaks, we'll dissect whether his time in Houston was a success or a letdown. Stick around till the end because we're not just crunching numbers or reliving highlights. We're engaging with interviews, fans' perspectives, and even some little-known stories that could shift your opinion on the Beard's legacy with the Rockets. Remember the drama back in 2012? James Harden couldn't seal the deal with a contract extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder, so guess what? They traded him off on October 27th. Can you believe it? Daryl Morey, the Rockets GM at the time, was super hyped about Harden, called him a foundational player, and basically said, "This is our guy now. Houston, get excited." Now, here's where it gets interesting. Just 4 days after being traded, Harden signs a 5-year, $80 million contract with the Rockets. Talk about a whirlwind peak, huh? People were all over the place about this deal. On one hand, you had the optimists saying, hey, Harden killed it as the 6th man of the year last season, and he's still pretty young. Why not roll the dice? But then you had the skeptics, and they had some points too. They were like, hold on a sec, why did OKC let him go? Indeed, he struggled somewhat in the finals, and they were unwilling to discuss the luxury tax. So the Rockets are catching flack for handing a max contract to a guy who hadn't even been a full-time starter. Yeah, the criticism wasn't coming out of nowhere. So, can we all just agree that James Harden was on fire from the jump when he joined the Rockets? I mean, come on, night 1 against the Pistons? Guy drops 37 points, dishes out 12 assists, grabs 6 boards, and nabs 4 steals. Oh, and let's not forget the 4 threes he drained. Now you can't tell me that wasn't a star performance moment. And guess what? The Beard kept the same energy all season long. He ended up as an All-Star, nabbed a spot on the All-NBA team, and steered the Rockets to 45 wins. Oh, and they made it to the playoffs for the first time since 2009. They took his old team, the Thunder, to 6 games in the first round. Talk about poetic justice, right? So picture this, James Harden is just 24, already dropping 25 points a game and making All-NBA teams. The guy's future is looking brighter than a spotlight. Then, out of nowhere, Chandler Parsons starts to light it up too, along with Dwight Howard, who tried to revive his superstar status after the Lakers. You start to think, man, is this the next big 3? But life had other plans. The Trailblazers eliminated the Rockets in round 1 of the playoffs after they hit a speed bump. James Harden was kind of the weak link in that series. I mean, you could dive into the stats if you want, but let's be real. His defense was as shaky as a house of cards. It wasn't just that his offense was kind of off. He basically ghosted on defense. And that's saying something because Parsons and Dwight Howard were actually slaying. Parsons with 19 points per game and Howard with a massive 26, shooting at a 55% clip. So for Harden to roll in with a meager 27 points per game on 38% from the floor? Nah man, way too inefficient. Fast forward to next season, Harden is still pulling his weight in the regular season, making another All-Star appearance, and even snags runner-up in the MVP race to Steph Curry in 2015. Not too shabby. But get this, the playoffs are where the real drama unfolds. First, the Rockets make mincemeat out of the Mavs, a team with 50 wins, mind you, in a clean sweep. Then they face the Clippers in the semis. Remember the whole blown 3-1 lead meme? Before the Warriors made it famous? Yep, that was this series. The Clippers were up 3 games to 1 and even snagged a win without Chris Paul, who was benched with an injury. But Game 5 was a game changer. Harden, Ariza, and Howard combined for a whopping 68 points. And the Clippers got thrashed on their home turf. You'd think that'd be a wake-up call, right? Well, it sort of was, but only for like 3/4 of Game 6. The Rockets were trailing 79-92 and Harden was already chilling on the bench. Just when you thought it was over, enter Josh Smith and Corey Brewer. Yeah, you heard that right. And the Rockets pull off an epic comeback. They outscore the Clippers 40-15 in the fourth, and just like that, history's made. So, you remember those final games of that series, right? Games 6 and 7 were just not Harden's finest hours. But hey, his buddies came through big time, and they still snagged the win. Fast forward to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, and Harden kind of fell apart. I mean, the dude only scored 14 points, had a whopping 12 turnovers, and barely hit any shots. 2 out of 11 to be exact. And get this, it was a do-or-die game. More turnovers than made shots? That's something you'd expect to be a headline, but it's like everyone just forgot. And oh man, don't even get me started on the 2016-17 season. The Rockets were, well, kinda trash. They started off stumbling with a 4-7 record, and Harden and the coach, Kevin McHale, just weren't vibing. There was so much bad blood that Harden actually got McHale fired. Can you believe that? There's a rumor that the media got salty with Harden over the McHale drama and snubbed him for All-NBA honors, even though his stats were fire. He was dropping 29 points, 8 dimes, and 6 boards a game on 61% true shooting. Yet they got kicked out of the playoffs in the first round by the Warriors, even though Steph was injured for most of it. So, the Rockets were in a tight spot, right? They had to shake things up. Enter Mike D'Antoni, known for his ability to quicken the game. He executed an audacious decision by designating Harden as the team's permanent point guard. And you won't believe what happened next. Harden had, hands down, the best season of his career. He averaged 29 points and 11 assists, which led the league by the way, and nearly grabbed 8 boards a game. The Rockets' offense became this high-scoring machine, ending up second in the NBA in points per game and offensive rating. They even won 55 games. But Harden, our man, ended up as a runner-up in the MVP race. So let's talk about the infamous Spurs series of 2017, huh? Man, James Harden was just off this game. I mean, hitting only 41% from the field and less than 31% from beyond the arc? Yikes. And don't even get me started on that disastrous elimination game. The dude was on the court for 36 minutes and only racked up 10 points, 7 assists, and 6 turnovers. He made a meager 2 of 11 shots and he even fouled out. And defensively, let's just say he wasn't exactly a human wall. Oh man, the 2018 Western Conference Finals? Crazy stuff. The Rockets, led by none other than James the Beard Harden, had the Warriors, a dynasty in the making, sweating bullets. They were up 3-2 in the series, and the title felt within grasp. The Rockets were led by their superstar James Harden. He was unstoppable throughout the series, averaging 28.7 points, 6 assists, and 5.6 rebounds per game. Aw man, Game 7 was an emotional roller coaster, wasn't it? The Rockets were flying high, leading by a cool 15 points in the third quarter. You could almost smell the finals in the air. But then the Warriors did what they do best, staged a comeback for the ages. The fourth quarter was like a heavyweight boxing match, each side trading blows. Just when you thought the Rockets had it, the Warriors swooped in and stole the win. Tough break, but what a game. Rockets almost every year ended up meeting with the Warriors, who eventually were their stopwalk. People started slapping the choker label on him after that series, and it's kinda stuck around like gum on a shoe. But you know what's funny? Despite the rocky end of the Rockets season and Harden's up and down year, the team was like, hey, we did alright. The one critique folks had was the Rockets putting all their eggs in the Harden basket, especially as their go-to ball handler. Some were even saying the guy was just burned out by the end. What do you think? Was it fatigue or something else? So, was Harden's time with the Rockets a failure? If you're only counting championships, yeah. But if you factor in his impact on the franchise, his MVP season, and the challenges he faced, it's a far more nuanced narrative. His years in Houston might not have ended with the ring, but they're hardly a story of failure. James Harden's era in Houston was a roller coaster ride, filled with individual accolades and team struggles. While he didn't bring home a championship, his undeniable impact on the Rockets and the game of basketball at large leaves room for debate on how we should categorize his time in Houston. And on that note, we're out. Catch you next time.